Hello everyone, I am Denisha Fraser, Master Teacher, aka Teach Frey, and I am here to inspire you teachers. Let's begin with a quote. Someone once said, "A good teacher teaches mathematics. A better teacher teaches mathematics to Johnny, but the great teacher teaches Johnny." Teachers, every child in your class is a Johnny. Let us teach Johnny. The only way to do this is to know each learner. This week, I want to encourage us to teach the individual learner. Researchers worldwide have been placing far greater emphasis on knowing the learner. It is believed that not knowing learners will equate to some learners not being reached at all. To know learners is to be aware of their backgrounds, interests, and abilities. This means that we can better plan for them, create a safer psychological environment, better enable them to achieve, and determine their readiness for the next phase of their journey. I personally have experienced far better results from learners I took an interest in knowing. When you know them, then you can teach them. I will use the name Johnny to represent the individual learner. A lesson which will reach Johnny must have the following features. 1. The lesson must have a clearly defined topic and 2 or 3 very smart objectives which Johnny can learn in one sitting. Remember that each child is unique, and if your class is a mixed ability group, you must be certain to plan with each learner in mind. 2. The lesson that will reach Johnny must be interesting and holds Johnny's attention for its duration. Teachers, remember that our students have varied attention spans. Even as adults, no one wants to sit for more than 30 to 45 minutes doing the same task. Therefore, to keep Johnny's attention and to keep him interested in learning, you must add elements of surprise to your lesson. Remember, you are creating a production for each lesson. 3. The lesson must recognize that Johnny might be a visual learner. We learned about multiple intelligences as we prepared for the classroom. They are a reality. The learners you teach will retain information in different ways. Some will require music, some images, and yet others something to touch and construct. Do your very best to cater to Johnny's differences. 4. The lesson must break complex matters into simple learnable parts which can be fit together by Johnny. If a matter is too complex and Johnny cannot see the parts in the whole or the whole from the parts, he will be left confused and uninterested in what you are teaching. Therefore, break complex information into smaller manageable parts, then put them back together again. 5. The lesson must allow Johnny to learn from his peers and his peers to learn from him through deliberate interactions. The best teaching is peer teaching. There is no better way to help a struggling student than a student who has come to understanding. Create opportunities for this beautiful exchange. The lesson must allow formative assessment. Teachers, sometimes we are tempted to cover the curriculum quickly. I know. Sometimes the odds are stacked against us in terms of time. However, to have Johnny learn quality over quantity has to be the objective. It would be futile if you taught everything and Johnny learned nothing. So slow down and check that Johnny is understanding what you're trying to teach him. 7. The lesson must push every single Johnny to share their opinion. Ask and answer questions and show what he or she knows. Every child has something to share. Even Johnny, who is very quiet and reserved. Interrogate his knowledge and you might be surprised to see the wealth of knowledge he possesses. 8. The lesson must make room for Johnny to watch the expert do with the expert, then do by himself. The teacher is the guide on the side, a guide who can never be absent from the picture. Students need to be taught and supported. Let us ensure that we offer the scaffolding every Johnny needs. 9. The lesson must help Johnny to make connections with other subjects, topics, and real life. The most important aspect of what we do as teachers is to ensure that we equip our learners to be functional citizens. Let us teach students how to connect new knowledge to what they already know. This is the only way that they will make sense of all that they are learning. 10. The lesson that will reach Johnny, the individual child, must have woven within it the things that interest Johnny. Every child has things that they are interested in and which will pique their attention. It is excellent to know these things and to mix them strategically into the lessons to hold students' attention as well as to help them with knowledge retention. 11. The lesson must inspire Johnny to want to learn more. When a teacher ignites the fire to learn in the learner, that student will be a student of life and for life. And 12. The lesson must teach Johnny how he learns and how to learn. This is the whole purpose of teaching people how to learn. I will close with a story about a special Johnny I taught a few years ago. Johnny was a very brilliant student who could grasp the contents of any subject matter very quickly. However, I found that this student was not interested in school. He was simply going through the motions and producing average and below average work. Honestly, I prefer working with students who are struggling than students like this Johnny I'm trying to describe. However, I decided to take on the challenge of inspiring Johnny to do well in his exit exams. I taught him 2 subjects at the CSEC level, and at the pace he was performing, just a few weeks shy of the exams, I was concerned that he never intended to pass. This worried me because up to this time, I had a perfect record as all my students passed their external exams the 8 years preceding this incident. I planned carefully what I would say to Johnny. I reflected on who he was. Yes, I understood him. I knew that he was not ready to do well for himself. So I decided I would have him do well for me. I saw him on the corridor while I was heading to class one day, and I decided to seize that moment. I had to be quick and effective, so I went in for the win. I took on an unconventional approach. I asked Johnny if he intended to ruin my reputation of having all my students being successful at the external examinations. Yes, I got vulnerable and placed Johnny in the position of power. Was he going to take the bait? I was not very certain. However, in that moment, I saw him light up like a Christmas tree, quite unlike I'd ever seen him before. He then replied with a strong resolve, the most determined I'd ever seen him. He said, "Miss, I will not let you down. Trust me, just watch." I believed him, and most importantly, he believed what he was saying. That was game over. So, over the next few weeks, I watched this Johnny taking responsibility for his revision and examination preparation. I can gladly report that he earned a range 1 and a range 2 in the subjects I taught him in that year. Teachers, let us invest in these learners the very best we can. But this will only be possible if we spend time to know each of them. Until next time, this is Teach Frey, love and peace.